Hello everyone. In this lecture, we will talk about one of the most important topics in engineering. It is a key to be successful in any engineering field. The outline of the lecture is something like this. We will start with talking about communication skills in general, and then we will talk about communication skill in engineering. Then we will have a topic for the steps for an effective communication. Then we will talk about three different main communication ways that are effective speaking, effective listening, and effective writing. First of all, what is communication skill? Communication is the process of whereby speech, signs, or actions transmit information from one person to another. It means there is a rundown, there is an information that should be transferred from one side to the other side. So communication is the process of transmission of this information. Communication to be successful, the sender and the receiver must have some signs, words, or signals in common with each other so that the message can be understood. To be successful in communication, the sender means the one who want to transfer some information, and the receiver is the one who want to catch some information. The sender and the receiver must have some signs, must have some words, must have some signals in common. So they should find some way. They should find some signals to speak with each other. The sender of the message should have some signals to tell the information, and also the receiver must show some signals that the sent message is received well. So in all cases, there are some signals and there are some words in common that the sender and the receiver will communicate by using these things. Communication skill in engineering. While speaking, writing, and listening are everyday actions, many professionals underestimate the importance of communication skills. Most of the engineers, most of the departments in engineering normally underestimate the importance of communication skills. They want to equip students, or even the students want to equip themselves by technical skills or by some information skills. It is true that these two things are very important, but without communication skill, you cannot be successful. So you shouldn't underestimate the importance or the effectiveness of communication skill in engineering. However, contemporary engineering projects need a very effective communication among the team members. If you could be successful in communicating different parties, different individuals, different team members in a project, even if your information is not so good, even if your technical skills are not so good, so you will be successful. Your success will be guaranteed with your communication skills. It doesn't mean that only communication can work to be for you to be successful in engineering projects. No. So you should be equipped with good information, with technical skills, but besides of these, you should have a very good communication skill to communicate with other individuals and other parties in the project. Engineers tend to prioritize technical skills over communication skills, not realizing that they cannot be fully effective in their jobs if there are inadequate speakers, writers, and listeners. So if you are not equipped with a good communication skill, like if you don't have a good speaking skill, if you don't have a good writing skill, if you don't have a good listening skill, if you couldn't listen to other members in the team, so you will not be successful. It doesn't relate it to your information. It doesn't relate it to your technical skills. It is related to your connection with others. So if your connection with others is good, you will be successful in most of the cases. The interaction between stakeholders, or we can say shareholders, whether it is an internal in an organization or external, with partners or clients, is full of opportunities for misunderstanding. So sometimes you will be a representative for a company, and you will have a contract with other companies, with other stakeholders, with other shareholders, with other organizations. So your communication with those individuals will define the rate of success of your contract. So it is very important to understand who are the members of the team, who are the stakeholders, who are the shareholders of your project. And it's very important to realize that how to communicate with them, how to listen to them, how to speak with them, how to write reports with to them. So communication is a key to win these kind of contractors in most of the projects. So in this case, it doesn't relate it to your technical skills. If you know, for example, 10 computer programs, yes, it is good to know how to use 10 computer programs. But in this case, for winning a contract for a project, so no one listen to you about how are you equipped with different computer skills, different technical skills. Okay, so your behavior, your communication with others will define the rate of success in this case. There are some steps for an effective communication. The first step is the topic selection. So first of all, you should know what is the topic that you want to talk about. In all cases, it is very important before any meeting, before starting any discussion. It is very important to know the topic. Then, the step 2 is research about this topic. So you have to research about this topic in internet, or reading books or reading articles, okay, to know enough information to find all the aspects in this topic. The third one is the organization of your speech, the organization of your writing is. So how can you start your speaking? Okay, your speaking is just like a report, just like writing an essay. You should know how to start, how to open your speech, and how to close your speech. So this is very important to focus while you are communicating with others. The fourth one is the motivational strategy. So the strategy is very important in your communication. So the idea behind the selection of this topic, the idea behind this discussion. What is the idea behind this discussion? So everything should be clear, the strategy should be clear. Those are the 4 main steps to be successful in communication, or to have a good communication or effective communication. We have many types of communication, but here we will talk about the 3 main types of communication. The first one is the effective speaking. Research has found that 15% of success will be guaranteed with intelligence and training. So if you are an engineer with a very high intelligence, if you are an engineer with many technical trainings, it means you have guaranteed only 15% of success. So 85% of success can be guaranteed with speaking and behavior with people in a successful way. So it is something unbelievable. So 85% of your success is related to your communication with others. Only 15% of your success will be guaranteed by your intelligence and your technical information related to your field. Effective speaking can define the rate of success in most of the cases, especially in engineering projects. And also inside speaking, we have some other subtopics. So any effective speech, okay, can be divided into three main parts. 7% of the speech, okay, the effectiveness of the speech is related to the content of your speech. For example, if the content of your speech is very effective, is very strong, what does that mean? It means only 7% of success is guaranteed, and 38% of the effectiveness of your speech is related to your style of speaking. The style is very important, and 55% of your speech, the effectiveness of your speech is related to your body language. So we understand that body language and style of speaking is very important. The frequency of your voice. So it is very important to focus on the body language and the frequency of your voice, using your hands, using your facial expression, using your movement as while you are speaking, because only 7% of the effectiveness of your speech is related to the contents of your speech. What are the people afraid of? So we may have a challenge of speaking in front of a group of people. So it is a very normal thing, because normally people afraid of speaking, especially speaking for a group of people, public speaking. There are many things that people are afraid of. For example, the fear of snakes and dogs. This is something normal. The fear of cancer, the fear of death. Many people are afraid of death. And also many people are afraid of failure. So there are many things. Research has found that the most important things that people are afraid of are these. But the fourth one is the fear of public speaking. So if you are afraid of public speaking, it is something normal. Why? Because it is not only you who is afraid of public speaking. So many people around the world are afraid of public speaking. So it is something normal. Okay, research has found that it is very normal to be afraid of public speaking. But how can you overcome this fear? How can you overcome this fear? This is very important. Now, to overcome the fear of public speaking, we should know the reasons. Okay, the causes of the fear of public speaking. So why do people afraid of public speaking? There are some reasons. So if you talk about the reasons, if you know the reasons, then you can overcome the fear of public speaking. The first point is people are laughing at me. So if you think that people are laughing at you, so in most of the cases you cannot speak to those group of people. So you shouldn't think that people are laughing at you, and also you should focus on your speech. You should focus on the importance of your speech and dissatisfaction with your abilities. If you say that I cannot do this, most probably you cannot. But if you say I can do this, you can do. So dissatisfaction with your abilities is also one of the reasons that people are afraid of public speaking. So another point is concern that others are judging you. If you speak to a group of people and think that those group of people are judging you, so you cannot talk to them, you cannot speak to them. So you shouldn't think like this, because people are not judging you normally. So you are judging yourself, then you are the leader of managing those group of people. So you should think like this, then you can speak to people. Past failures. So sometimes past failures are one of the reasons that people are afraid of public speaking. So if you think about the future, okay, the future is better than thinking about the past failures. So you should use the past failures to overcome the future fears of public speaking. Poor or insufficient preparation. So before speaking to a group of people, you should prepare yourself. This is very important. Most of the people don't prepare themselves and will go to a seminar to speak or to talk to a group of people. So this is a very big mistake. So you should prepare yourself before speaking. Discomfort with your own body and movement. Sometimes if the weather was hot, so you wear some clothes that's not suitable for hot weather, so you will be an discomfort with your own body. Okay, so you should take care about this point. And forget what you want to say. Sometimes it is very normal to forget what you want to say. Okay, yeah, but forgetting what you want to say is not the last point that you are in seminars or in your speaking. So when you have forgotten something, you should talk about something else. So then you can overcome this point by having some alternatives in your speech. Because as I told you, it is very normal to forget a point or to forget the topics that you want to talk about. Whenever you forgot something, then you should have another alternative to talk about for to these people. Okay, so comparing ourselves to others. So you shouldn't compare yourself to others. Why? Because everyone is equipped with different skills. Everyone has a different background and different history. So you shouldn't compare yourself with others, and you should focus on your abilities. What are your strong points? What are your weak points? Then you can proceed and you can be effective in your speaking. Effective listening. The second way for having a good communication with others is effective listening. Sometimes you can speak with others, or sometimes you can talk with others to others by listening, because listening is not only listening. Listening is also can be defined as talking to others. So if you are listening to someone carefully, means you are talking to someone or speaking to someone carefully. Effective listening is the ability to actively understand information provided by the speaker and display interest in the topic discussed. It can also include providing the speaker with feedback by asking pertinent questions so the speaker knows the message is received. There are three main pointers for effective listening. If you are listening to something but you don't understand, it means you are not listening. So effective listening means you are understanding what people or what others are saying. So understanding is the first point. Displaying interest. So you should display your interest while you are listening to someone. And also providing feedback to the speaker. How can you provide feedback for the speaker? By asking questions, by having comments. If you have a question to someone, if you have a comment to someone, what does that mean? It means you have listened effectively, means you understood what they have said, and you have a question and you have a comment. So those 3 points are very important: understanding what people are saying and displaying your interest and providing feedback. Effective listening is a skill using multiple senses to
comprehend the message being sent by the speaker. While you are listening to someone, okay, you are using multiple senses. You are using different techniques to receive the message. Okay, your eye contact, taking notice, and listening effectively. So those techniques are very important for effective listening. Some people are cannot distinguish between two things. We have two words in English, listening and hearing. Sometimes people cannot separate listening and hearing. So what is listening and what is hearing? Listening is a physical, mental process, and it is active. It is a physical and mental process, and it is active because you are using energy when you are listening to something. But hearing is a physical process, but it is natural. It is passive because you don't need energy to hear something. So it is a physical process, but it is natural. It will happen naturally. And also it is passive. It is not active. Listening is hard. Why listening is hard? Because it needs energy. Okay, but hearing is effortless. You don't need any energy. So this is the main difference between listening and hearing. Benefits of effective listening. Why we need to listen carefully and effectively. The first point is it enhances productivity. If you listen to something, okay, you will be more productive, you will be more knowledgeable, you will be more effective even while you are speaking. And improves relations. So the relations between you and others will be improved. When someone realizes that you are listening to him or to her, so your relation, your connection with him or her will be improved. It avoids conflict. Okay, so sometimes in most of the cases the conflict is between companies or individuals is related to misunderstanding. So for avoiding conflict is effective listening is very important. Improves understanding. Okay, when you are listening effectively, so your understanding will be improved. Improves negotiation skills, and also people will appreciate it. When you listen to someone, people will appreciate it. And this famous saying summarizes the importance of listening. Okay, we have two ears and one mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. So it is very important to have a good and effective listening skill to be successful in your future career. Another way of communication is writing. So writing is very important, especially for academicians and for engineers who works for international companies. So there are some main reasons of writing. The first reason for writing is showing the findings of an experiment that is performed in laboratory. So sometimes you are performing an experiment, you are doing an experiment in the labs, and you want to show the results by a report. So you should know how to write academic reports and the reports that will be written for practical experiments. The second reason for writing is providing suitable guidance of solving a specific problem. Sometimes there may be a problem in the city or in the country, and by writing a report you are showing the guidance and your solutions for this specific problem. The third reason for writing is explaining and describing an existing case or situation, such as accidents, causes of a specific debates, and etc. Sometimes the reason of writing is only describing a situation. For example, if something like this is happening, so you as an engineer may only describe the causes for happening this accident. These three main causes are the main causes of writing and the main reasons that you want to express your findings in a report. There are many keys to write something effectively, but there are some points that every written report should answer. The first point is set out the issue and explain why the activity was undertaken. So answering why did you do this, why did you perform this experiment, why did you prepare this report is very important to be answered. The second question is describing what was done, and the third question is how it was done. So those two questions are very important. Okay, what did you do to answer or to get this result, and how did you do this? So it means the procedure of doing something. Then when you have answered the answer of these three questions, why did you do this, and what did you do, and how did you do? So after that you should present your findings, conclusions, and present your recommendations. Okay, so every written report should have an organized system or an organized structure. So for example, writing a report for a company is different if compared to writing a report for a university, and writing a report for an owner of the company is different if you want to write a report for the designer of something. So everything should have its own structure, and the structure of the report should be well organized. Who is going to read your report? So while you are writing a report, you shouldn't think in terms of lecturer and a student. You shouldn't write your report just like the one you are writing for your lecture. You should imagine that your report should be written by members of a multinational company. So then your report will be effective and will be successful. Before writing any report, you should ask yourself these questions: how much time does this person have? For example, if you are preparing a very long report, but you know that the owner of the company doesn't have enough time to read this report, so it means you are wasting time. So you should know the reader of your reporters. So how much time does this person have for reading your report? Okay, will they understand academic styles? So if you are writing a report for someone that's not academician and you are using some academic principles for writing your reports, so it means you are wasting your time. So you should know the reader if they understand your style or not. Then if you know that they don't or they can't understand your style, you should change the style for writing the report. If they read this report, will they pay you for your advice? So if you for example prepared a report for recommendation of solving a specific problem, okay, will they pay attention to your advice? Okay, so this is very important to focus on while writing a report. There are some steps for writing reports, and as I told you, I will share a report to how to write reports, and the steps of writing the report is presented in detail. You can take benefit for writing your future reports. There are 4 main steps for writing any report. The first step is thinking and planning. Before writing any report, you should think about the topic. Okay, then you should plan for your writings. After that, you should define the purpose. You should gather information, and you should structure your material. Okay, those steps are very important. The second main step is reading and note taking. Once you finish it, thinking and planning, and these three steps are a part of thinking and planning. The second main step is reading and note taking. then you should start reading. You should collect references, and then while you are reading, you should take notice about what you have read. The third main step is writing and drafting. Okay, once you have finished the reading, then you are ready to write something. Okay, you are writing and preparing a draft. After drafting, the final step is reviewing and checking. Now this drafted in the third step is ready to be reviewed and is ready to be converted to the final version by checking. Okay, those are the main steps for an effective writing. You can take benefit from these steps while writing any report. Okay, thank you very much. We will have an online meeting next week for asking questions.